The alien surgeon thought he was treating a simple patient, until he scanned the patient's blood and nearly triggered a galactic panic. Their first contact medical manual had no entry for this. Dr. Zur, his neural frills pulsating with anxiety, stared at the diagnostic hologram floating above the human diplomat. The system's warning flashed a toxicology alert in 3 languages, all pointing to the same impossible conclusion. "Run the scan again," he commanded, his voice a strained whisper. The patient, Ambassador Vance, lay still on the biobed, injuries from the diplomatic blast seemingly superficial. Yet the readings showed a catastrophic internal event. His circulatory system was saturated with heavy metals. "Doctor, the results are confirmed," a junior medic chimed in, her tone laced with fear. "Critical levels of ferrous compounds. It should be fatal." Zir's primary heart hammered against his carapace. A poisoning at the first interspecies summit could mean war. He had to contain this. "Initiate full biohazard protocols," he ordered. "Quarantine this entire wing." But before the containment fields could activate, the second human delegate, Mara, was already at the doorway, her expression shifting from concern to something else entirely. "What's happening? Is the ambassador all right?" "We've detected a severe contaminant in his blood," Zir explained, his frills flattening defensively. "Levels of iron that defy biological possibility." A strange, almost relieved look passed over Mara's face. She let out a breath she seemed to be holding. "Doctor, that's not a contaminant. That's his blood. That's how it's supposed to be." The medical bay fell into a stunned silence. The other alien medics froze, their various sensory organs focused on Mara. Zir's mind reeled. A species that used reactive metal as a fundamental biological component? Evolution would never produce something so volatile, so dangerous. "You are suggesting his biology is built around a toxin?" he asked, skepticism warring with a dawning, terrifying scientific curiosity. "It's not a toxin to us," Mara stated plainly. "It's the molecule that carries our breath, our life." From the corridor, the imposing form of Security Director Gron filled the doorway, his tusked face grim. "We have a bigger problem. 2 other delegates are now showing acute distress. Their symptoms began minutes ago. You fear a poison. I see the blueprint for a miracle." Director Gron's news sent a new wave of tension through the room. The Centaurian delegate was reportedly in biochemical shock. Quarantine was no longer a precaution. It was a lockdown. Head physician Vor, Zir's superior, arrived with scales flushed a furious magenta. "This is a containment breach. I warned against mixing biologies." "But the human wasn't isolated," Zir countered, pulling up the medical logs on a holo display. "The injuries from the blast. There was debris, potential for fluid contact." His own theory began to crystallize, fragile and terrifying. "What if this isn't contamination? What if it's interaction?" Vor scoffed a dry rattling sound. "Interaction? Their metal blood is interacting with other life forms by shutting down their systems. If you're finding this strange twist in the tale intriguing, show the algorithm you're hooked by hitting that like button right now. It truly helps the channel." Zir ignored him, his focus locked on the data. He isolated the protein markers from the human blood sample. They weren't uniform. He saw multiple complex configurations dancing in the scan, a symphony of variation where there should have been a single note. "Look at this," he said, voice filled with awe. "Their blood isn't just one thing. It's a library of compatible types. The other species, their bodies have never encountered this. They're not being poisoned. They're being presented with a biochemical puzzle they can't solve, and their immune systems are overreacting." His suspension came minutes later. Vor cited reckless speculation and endangering the summit, but Azir was escorted from the medical wing. He caught Mara's eye. She gave a slight, almost imperceptible nod. The secret lab access, courtesy of a sympathetic Director Gron, was cramped. Zir's portable analyzer glowed in the dim light of the quarantine ventilation shaft. He needed one more sample, directly comparing the human's blood with that of the ailing Centaurian. The risk was monumental. If he was caught, his career was over. Inside the sealed ward, the air was thick with the scent of antiseptic and alien pheromones of distress. Ambassador Vance was conscious now, pale but alert. "Dr. Zir, they said you were relieved." "I have a theory, Ambassador," Zir whispered, preparing a micro-syringe. "But I need your help to prove it. In your history, did your people ever have trouble sharing blood with each other?" Vance frowned, then understanding dawned. "Blood types, yes, it was a hard lesson. We learned that not all blood is compatible, even among ourselves. That's it. Zir's frills vibrated with excitement. He took the sample and fed it into his device. The results painted a stunning picture. The human blood cells weren't attacking. They were trying to integrate, to share their oxygen-carrying method with the copper-based Centaurian cells. It was a beautiful, disastrous miscommunication between biologies. Their systems are rejecting the variation, Zir muttered to Groan, who stood watch by the door. They see multiple protein patterns as multiple invaders. It's an allergic reaction on a cellular scale. The universe is most dangerous. Elements often forge its most resilient life. But the cure was in the problem itself. If the human blood contained the blueprint for variation, perhaps it also held the key to teaching another system how to tolerate it. You're talking about modulating the immune response, Gron rumbled, following the logic, using the human's own biological data as a guide. Before Zir could answer, alarms blared through the facility. Not medical alerts, security breaches. Red light bathed the corridor. The attackers from the summit, Gron growled, his body tensing for combat. They've infiltrated the medical wing. They're trying to finish the job. Chaos erupted. Zir made a decision. He grabbed the analyzer, the vital data, and a single sealed vial of the ambassador's blood. Director, I need access to the main biocompatibility synthesizer, now. What? That's in the central lab. Exactly where they won't expect a suspended doctor to be, Zir said. Already moving, he wasn't just a physician anymore. He was a diplomat for an idea. That difference wasn't a weapon, but a tool. The key to saving the summit, and perhaps forging a new understanding, was racing through the veins of the injured man on the table. They moved through service corridors, the sounds of conflict echoing around them. Zir's mind was clear. He would use the human's unique biology not as a curiosity, but as a template. He would design a counteragent that used the very complexity of human blood to teach the other delegates' bodies how to accept it. He burst into the central lab, the synthesizer humming before him. This was it. He input the data, the complex protein maps, the iron regulation pathways. He was no longer just treating a patient. He was building a bridge. And that bridge starts with you, right here. If this story of first contact and biological wonder pulled you in, do something important for the channel Winds of Thought. Subscribe and ring the bell. You never know what world we'll explore next. The synthesizer lights pulsed, cycling through compounds. In the distance, an energy blast shook the door. Zir didn't flinch. His eyes were fixed on the machine, on the future it was creating, one impossible molecule at a time.